Alright, this is going to be a tutorial on how to go about creating vessels, so something that has the ability to hold another thing, out of magazines. Your first step is to rip out magazine pages. Just a single page is all you need to start, but you're going to need more. One thing that can make it a little bit easier for you, if you have magazines that are stapled in the center, if you open up the magazine to the very center, a lot of times those magazines are flimsy enough to where you can rip the entire magazine in half right down the center where the staples are. Then you have two big stacks of single pages to work with. You're going to need a glue stick, a nice flat stable work surface, and some white glue, and a ton of patience. We're going to start by folding. Well, that's pretty simple. We're going to fold it a few times, making sure that the width, so how wide it is, from one side to the other is fairly consistent. You want it to be about the same width. You don't want to end up with one side really narrow and one side really wide, because that's going to be tough to work with. Once you've folded it over a few times, you can grab it from the center and just start rolling. Right now my ends are very round and my center's kind of flat. I've rolled until I have just the corner left. I'm going to grab some of my glue stick, put a little bit right there on the corner, keep rolling until you roll it right on top of that glue. Once you have it on top of the glue, take your finger and press it down on both sides, creating a crease so that it's now flat instead of round. We're going to call these ribs. You're going to need a lot of ribs to get started, to create the base, the bottom part of your vessel. You're going to need a lot of them. There's a few different ways that you can make bases. We can either have bases made out of individual rings or individual rolls, or we can make a base out of one big solid roll. But the first step is getting your pages of magazines all ripped out, starting to fold at a corner, and while I'm on that, you start from the corner, because whenever you do, you're going to end up with a longer rib. If I started from this side, it'd be kind of short. And I could do it this way, but it wouldn't have as many layers. Whenever you do it starting from a corner, your ends will be a little bit more narrow than your center. You're going to have more paper around the center. It'll be thicker there. And your ends will be thinner. And that kind of makes it easier whenever you're wrapping things around. We'll roll it, roll it, roll it, roll it. Rollin', 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 I'm a strange art teacher. Rollin', 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 rawhide. Till you get to the corner, a little bit of glue. Oh no. There it goes. Roll it right on top of the glue, then take your finger and there's another rib. You need a lot of them to get started with the base. Right now, I got over 100. I got a lot of ribs going on. The reason why you want a lot of these, you don't want to be in the middle of making your base or creating your vessel and run out of ribs and have to stop in the middle of everything and make some more. It's better to have more than you think you're going to need than to possibly have too few, so not enough. Once you have all of your ribs made up, the next step is going to be to break them. Not like but sort of like So if you think about coiling and basketry, so weaving baskets and doing coiling with rope, there's a lot of wrapping involved. We're going to use a lot of those same techniques to create this vessel. But right now, this rib doesn't want to make a nice pretty curve. It doesn't want to bend. It isn't going to want to wrap. It'll fold, but that's about it. We need for it to be able to do more than just fold. If you make sure that the corner that you glued down is facing upwards, you can use the edge of a table or desk I'm going to get a little bit closer here. You can use the edge of a corner or desk to break your ribs. The way you're going to do this, keep your rib flat on the table, and you're going to pull it straight down. Now, it's not going to fight me whenever I want it to make a curve. It'll do what I want. I've broken up some of the fibers inside of the paper, and if the glue had hardened a little bit, this helps sort of break up that glue too, so that instead of just bending and folding, it's more willing to curve. Once you have some ribs broken up, they're going to be sort of curved on their own, but once you have some ribs broken up, there's a few different ways that we can go about this. If we were going to make a base out of rings, well, let me back up. To make a ring, not like a ring, but yes, like a ring in some ways. To make a ring, the easiest way to do it is to use your glue stick. It's going to be your best friend, your most trusted tool. You're going to start by rolling it onto the glue stick, making sure that the edges stay straight. So you don't want to end it up with it being all crookedy. If it's crooked, it's not going to want to stay together. Roll it up about halfway. Once you have about half of it rolled up, with your white glue, we're going to put a thin little stripe of glue right down the center. And we're going to keep rolling onto our glue stick. Until, there we go. There it is. I'll have to slide it off of the glue stick, which might be kind of tough because I made it sort of tight. And there is a ring. We could make a base out of many rings, or not. There's other ways to do it. If we wanted a coil, so lots and lots of pieces wrapped onto themselves to make one big solid piece, instead of having many of these together, just one big piece that's all one thing. We would start sort of the same way by breaking our rib, and then I found that the easiest way to start is to fold the end. I'll zoom in for you. Fold, look at, see, I folded the end. I'm going to fold it a teeny bit, and a teeny bit, and a teeny bit. Let me hold it a different way so you can see how small this is. It's very small. Once you have it folded a little bit, you can hold it from the sides and start rolling it around itself. And again, once you get about halfway to the end, you're going to put a stripe of glue, one thin stripe, right down the center of the rib. And as you continue on, you're going to be getting a nice tight roll. I need to get a stripe of glue going on. A thin stripe of glue is all that you need. If you have a big, thick glob of glue, it's going to squish out the sides and get all over you, and you're going to be living a miserably sticky life. We'll keep rolling, 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 rolling. What? When you get to the end, I have a little tail left. I can take my next rib and stick it right onto the glue and keep building. It slipped. Sometimes glue can be slippery, which doesn't quite make sense to me. Because, you know, glue is supposed to be sticky, not slippery. But if you have too much glue, or if you put too much pressure on it, it can slip. I'll hold it from the sides like I told you to. And I'm sure it will work better if I'm holding it from the sides. It is working better. Look at me following my own directions. Here's a wonderful life lesson in this, guys. If at first you don't succeed, try doing what the art teacher told you to do the first time. Or just listen really closely to instructions. That's really helpful for life too in art class. I put a little stripe of glue. And if class is about to end, what I would do with this thing, I would take a rubber band and wrap it around it just to hold it nice and tight. I'd write my name on the rubber band. Use a good thick one. Write your name on it so nobody takes your base. Because a vessel without a good base to sit it on, it's not going to be very easy to work with. Tune in next time to find out how to build up the walls of your vessel. Thanks for watching.